Hello everybody, welcome to the video. My channel name is College Football Frenzy, and today I'm going to be talking about the LSU Tigers 2020 football schedule. The Tigers last year, let's just say, had a pretty good season, finishing overall 15-0. Joe Burrow had one of the best seasons ever for any player in college football history, winning the Heisman Trophy. Coach Orgeron won the Coach of the Year award, and they brought home a lot of other awards, a lot of greatness. They're probably going to be considered the best college football playoff era team of all time so far. I mean, you look at the other teams that have won a championship during the college football playoff era, you stack them up to this team. I think this team's the best team, in the college football era, playoff era. Obviously, that era only started in 2014, but still, this team is just clearly above the rest of those college football playoff era teams. So this was a very special team last season. I'm excited to do the schedule prediction. Obviously, though, I have to assess that they are losing a lot of guys. Joe Burrow, he's going to be gone. Grant Delpit on the defense, he's going to be gone. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be gone. Justin Jefferson's going to be gone. And there's a lot of other guys leaving. And obviously, for the coaching staff, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, he's going to be gone. And the defensive coordinator, David Aranda, is going to be gone. So they're losing a lot. They're losing a lot on the coaching staff. They're losing a lot of talent. So I don't think this team necessarily will be as talented as what we saw last year. They do have a top 5 recruiting class, but just the experienced talent won't be as good. But you look at what they still have, it is still pretty good. And I think they can, have a decent season. Not necessarily as great as it was not necessarily as great as 2019, but I think they can have a double-digit win season. Looking at the schedule, obviously it's tough, but LSU last year, they got through all those big tests, and I'm sure they can get through some of them again. So I'm going to start out right away. UTSA, I think that's a win, no challenge there. To Texas, so Texas might be a pretty big challenge. LSU beat Texas last year. I think Texas is more talented than they were last year. And I understand that LSU is less talented than they were last year, but LSU still has a better recruiting class, and on top of that, it's in Death Valley, and that's a huge advantage. It most likely will be a night game, and that's just a tough place to play. I think Texas will make it close, but at the end of the day, I feel like LSU is the better football team, so I have LSU winning that football game. Rice, I have no idea why this is a neutral site game, but apparently it is. So they'll win this one by quite a lot. It won't be a challenge. For Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin might make some noise in the SEC West. I don't expect him to beat LSU, though. I just feel like LSU's a much superior team. It's a home game for LSU too in Death Valley, so I'm taking the Tigers here. Nicholas, I believe that's how you say it. It's an FCS school. That'll be an easy win for LSU. At Florida. All right, this is the big game. This is the first huge game. It's in the swamp. Florida's going to be pretty good next season. You look at what they have. They have a great recruiting class. They're going to have a great defense again. I understand they're losing C.J. Henderson, but they're still going to have a pretty good defense. Kyle Trask is going to be improving. I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. And overall, I feel like Dan Mullen's done a great job at Florida. And you look at how Florida's doing, I think they're going to be a pretty good football team next season. It's in the swamp. Good chance it'll be a night game. We'll see. It might not be. It might be a 3:30 game. It's going to be a tough game to play, in my opinion, for LSU, and I'm taking Florida to win a close one. You look at the last couple of years when LSU had more talent than they did this year. 2018, Florida beat LSU. 2019, Florida played pretty well against LSU. They only lost by 14, but they were up at certain points in that game. You can argue that, say, at least for 2018, LSU wasn't extremely talented, although they still had a lot of good guys on that team. But 2019, they were very talented, and Florida still put up a good fight. So overall, Florida, they've given LSU trouble the last few years, and I think they're going to give them more trouble here. I'm taking the Gators to win. At Arkansas, unless Sam Pittman is some magician and he's some incredible coach, LSU wins this by a lot, and I mean a lot. 8, Mississippi State, they have Mike Leach there now. Should be interesting to see how that goes, but I'm taking the Tigers to win this game. I feel like they're just a better team overall. It's Mike Leach's first year. Give him time. I think he can turn Mississippi State into a contender, but not right now. 9, the bye week. So they start out the season 7-1, and that's pretty good. And you get the bye week obviously right before Alabama, perfect timing. Now, the Crimson Tide on paper look like they're going to be a lot more talented than LSU, and I'm not making that up. It's just true. I understand they're losing Tua. I understand they're losing guys like Xavier McKinney, and I understand they're losing some weapons like Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy. But you look at the talent they're bringing in. They're still bringing in a top 5 recruiting class. That includes Bryce Young, a 5-star recruit who's probably going to be the quarterback. If it's not him, then it's going to be Mac Jones. They still have Devonta Smith at the wide receiver core, and they're still going to have guys like Najee Harris at the running back position, who was pretty good last season. He gave LSU a lot of trouble when they played him, and they're still going to have Dylan Moses at the defense. So they're going to be pretty good overall, and of course they still have the best coach in college football, Nick Saban. So they're going to be fantastic again, in my opinion, at Alabama. And LSU's losing a lot of talent, and even though it's in Death Valley and it's going to be a night game, I think it's going to hurt them. And LSU lately has not done very well in Death Valley against Alabama. Their last 2 wins against Alabama, which happened in an 8-year span, have both come on the road at Alabama. They have not done well, in Death Valley against Alabama. And Nick Saban doesn't like to lose to teams twice in a row. I think we know that. I don't think it's going to happen this time for LSU. I think it'll be close, at least closer than it was in 2018, but I have the Crimson Tide winning this one. 11 South Carolina should be an easy one. LSU will probably destroy them. 12 at Auburn. This might be where game day goes for that week. It's a pretty good matchup. I think Auburn's either going to be a 1 or 2 loss team coming in this game, so it will be a good matchup in my mind. Auburn's going to be pretty good. You look at their team overall. They have Bo Nix returning. They have, I believe, Seth Williams returning. And their defense, it's going to be okay. They're losing Derek Brown. That's going to hurt them, but they still have a decent defense. And their recruiting class is pretty good. With that being said, I feel like LSU has just the same amount of talent, if not more talent, than Auburn. I understand it's in Jordan-Hare Stadium. I know Auburn gave LSU a tough time last year. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a good game. But I am taking the Tigers of LSU, to win this game. It'll be close, though. 13 at Texas A&M. Well, obviously last year, LSU sure got revenge on Texas A&M after their 7 overtime loss in 2018. I mean, they absolutely destroyed Texas A&M. They clearly were angry about that 2018 loss, so they made sure they got revenge, obviously. It was an absolute blowout. It was a bloodbath, not pretty to watch. This upcoming season, it's going to be a little bit different. I think it'll be closer. It's at Texas A&M, so it's going to be a tough place to play for LSU. Texas A&M is going to have a good recruiting class, and LSU is losing a lot of that talent that helped them dominate in that game. So it's definitely going to be closer. With that being said, LSU still has a little bit better recruiting class, and overall, I feel like, it's a rivalry game. I think it'll be close. I feel like Ed Orgeron will win the coaching matchup here. So I have LSU winning, but I do think it'll be close. Maybe a field goal, maybe a touchdown. I think there are a lot of games on LSU's schedule that'll be close. So I think they win this one, but it definitely is going to be a lot closer than last year. And I think this is going to have big implications because Texas A&M coming in this game, you look at their schedule, they should be 9-2. I have LSU as 9-2 coming in this game. This should actually probably be like a playing game to a New Year's Six Bowl. Like the winner goes to like the Fiesta Bowl or the Peach Bowl or the Orange Bowl or the Cotton Bowl. So that's going to be a big game in my opinion. A top 20 ranked matchup, maybe a top 15 ranked matchup. So I think a lot will be on the line in this game. But I have the LSU Tigers winning in a close one. So overall, the Tigers of LSU finished 10-2. And in my opinion, that's not that bad. You just look at the talent that they're losing. It's a lot, and they're losing their 2 coordinators. So it's going to be a lot tougher for them, and they still have just as hard, if not a harder schedule this upcoming season than they did last year. I think Texas A&M is just going to be as good. I think Auburn will just be as good. I think Alabama is going to be better, and I think Florida will be better. So it's going to be a tough schedule for LSU. I expect 2 losses. I think this is really just a transition year. In a few years, I think they're going to be back to where they were last year, or at least close to that, making the playoffs, or at least being a playoff contender. But this upcoming season, I feel like they take a little bit of a step back. They're just losing a lot of guys. They've got to figure out their team identity. So I have them going overall 10-2, and they would still have a good chance to win their bowl game. Whoever they play, but I have them at 10-2 right now, just because losing a lot of talent, a tough schedule. It's going to be tough for them. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you for joining in. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and check out all my other videos.